listening to the What the Wrestling podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is.
Perfect.
We got a What the Wrestling News brief coming at you live on a Friday afternoon. We do have some predictions for you later, but first things first, let's get into my socials. Follow me, RJD underscore 199, RJ699 for the Twitter, RJD199 for Snapchat, but most importantly, follow What the Wrestling on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Follow What the Wrestling on Spotify and Anchor. And let's not waste any more time. Let's go. This is going to be a quick one, baby. Yes. With my door wide open. Welcome to What the Wrestling. This is your What the Wrestling news brief with my door wide open. My cat must have opened the door, but it's okay. No big deal. I am your host, RJD. I am here. And we have some news going on. We got some injury news yet again. Jesus Christ. Everybody's hurt. Got Jeff Hardy going into rehab, and we also have talent scared, and it's a scary thought about somebody taking power in WWE. But first things first, hit the like button, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel What the Wrestling on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Let us not forget HBO, please help a brother out. All right, shout out to the Poor Man's Podcast for that. I'm definitely using that. HBO, man, help a brother out. Hit the like button. It don't cost you a thing. Check out the predictions video later on today. Me and Isaac, we will be going live. But let's get into this. So WWE superstars apparently are unhappy with Bruce Prichard taking over for John Laurinaitis. As you all should already know, John Laurinaitis has been suspended, if I'm not mistaken, or he has been relieved of his duties. I do not know yet if he is fired. You're fired. I don't know any of that. But what I do know is that he has been relieved of his duties and he's out of there right now. So,
fuck this shit, I'm out.
Good for him. But other than that, Dave Meltzer reports in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that reaction from the WWE talents regarding Bruce Prichard replacing John Laurinaitis was quote unquote generally negative. So Meltzer also stated that the general manager of Monday Night Raw had a better relationship with most talent than Bruce Prichard did. People have described him there as generally quiet and unusually not approachable, while Laurinaitis was very approachable. Yeah, he was very approachable, all right. But one source told Meltzer that the change is quote-unquote scary. Now, to be honest, Prichard, Laurinaitis done. I mean, if they were going to clean house, they might as well get a whole new crew, get a whole new vision. Listen, I know Kevin Dunn, and it's about let me talk about culture first. So the culture, if the culture there is what it has been portrayed to be, allegedly, then they should have just let a bunch of people go. Now, Bruce Prichard ain't have nothing to do with that, but you know, that's Vince's right-hand man for many, many years. He understands Vince. He follows Vince's vision. So he's not going to sit there and oppose Vince in any way. And I get that. But if they wanted new, true change, they would just change all that. And Kevin Dunn is very good at his job in regards to the promos and not promos, the video packages and putting stuff together and slicing that stuff up. He's very good at that. But even still, he's got an investigation going too. If you really want change, just wipe the floor with everybody. Clean it up. Let everybody go. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do. Let everybody go.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Instead, you replace it with Bruce Prichard, and now you got some people in there wearing many hats. At this point, WWE needs to get some stabilization about it. It needs to get more stable. There's something cutting me on my damn neck. It needs to get stable. The culture needs to change. The mood needs to change. I can only imagine what these talent are going through. Going from John Laurinaitis to Bruce Prichard. It's like going from bad to worse or going from bad to bad. Like it's irrelevant. So, especially working for somebody who your boss is, somebody you report to or somebody that's above you in management, they're not approachable. And it's like, little fly shoe, get away from me. It's like every time you look at them, it's like,
Get the fuck out of here!
I just look at you with that disdain, like, leave me alone. Now, I don't know if this is the case, but it would not surprise me. I'm not going to sit here and lie. So, let's see what becomes of it. This investigation that's going on with Vince McMahon and WWE and everything else, it's such a huge story. And there's so much going on in WWE right now. The layers are just layers upon layers. You got law firms and lawyers investigating a whole bunch of things that they're doing. This, I think, is going to get worse before it gets better. And depending on what they find will depend on what happens next. So I am very interested to see how they get around this. This is going to be very, very interesting. Now let's move on to an injury update. This came in like literally yesterday, and it came in after I had put my video out. But apparently Tomohiro Ishii, who is scheduled to be in that fatal four-way for the All-Atlantic Championship, is out. He has suffered an injury, and he is now out of the match. That sucks.
Nope.
Not feeling that at all. But it's like, god damn, man. I wanted to see that match between Pac, Malachi, the Redeemer, and Ishii that literally had the potential to steal the spotlight and steal the night and steal the show from everyone else. Because those four guys would have tore it down. And not being able to see Ishii again on AEW TV sucks. But no lie, this pay-per-view, like the injury bug for real. Excuse me. The injury bug has totally like just warped this pay-per-view into something else. And I can't get mad at it. Nobody can. Like, nobody can foresee injuries. The amount of injuries in wrestling right now in WWE and AEW is like astonishing. I've never seen this many people hurt, especially top people like towards the top of the card. In general, this is like unprecedented. So it sucks, but I'm sure they will find ways around it. I'm sure they will be okay. Not a good thing, but we're going to be okay. We're going to get through it. But at the end of the day, it's still one thing. That's all I can say. Like, goddamn, like it never fails. But Ishii is out. So if you're looking forward to seeing Ishii in that fatal 4-way, it ain't happening. Unfortunately. News on Jeff Hardy. So, as we all know, Jeff Hardy had that issue, and he has been suspended without pay because he was driving under the influence. After being arrested for driving under the influence a couple of weeks ago, and he said that he would join a treatment facility in order to stay with AEW, and they would try to get him the help he needs. So when he gets out, he would have to remain sober in order to continue to work with AEW. So Tony Khan hosted a media call today to promote Forbidden Door, and Khan said that Jeff Hardy is doing much better. He's entered the treatment facility for his drinking problem. Khan said Hardy's situation is much different from Moxley's, who also went to rehab recently for alcohol issues. And Moxley was on Renee Paquette's podcast, and they talked about Moxley's issues and what led up to it. And I saw it, especially I saw half of it. I got to see the second half. But Moxley's issue, there was no, he even said it himself. He said there was no car running into a tree. There was no me running into anybody. There was no anything, no DUI. There was no one moment that made me go, aha, it's time to, it's time to get sober and fix this. No, there was no one event. It was just, I got to stop drinking. I'm about to have a baby. I'm about to move. I can't keep doing this. And he was like, I just can't keep doing this. I can't keep thinking that everything's going to be okay. I can't live like this. And I need help. And I think he said he went to an indie show that he did. And he was just like, I got to get help. He came back. He told his wife, oh, I'm going to go to rehab. And then she just said, like, okay. And then he said, okay. He called the Uber and took himself to rehab. Like, it literally happened just like that. So Jeff Hardy's situation is very different. Like, he's had 3 DUIs in the past, I think, 10 years. And he's had a plethora of issues, sobriety issues. They're well documented. You can Google them. It's not hard to find. He's been very open and honest about them as well. So the fact that when that video was bad, the fact that he was like in a stupor and he was confused, and the complaints were that he was swerving on the road, the cops may have saved somebody's life. So whoever called him in could have saved somebody's life, because he looked bad when he got out of that car. He did not look in his right frame of mind. So I'm glad he's getting the help he needs. I'm glad Tony Khan said that they will stand by Jeff Hardy and support him despite his poor decision making. You got to call a spade. He has made poor decisions. If you're going to get blasted, call an Uber. You know how many times John Moxley said the word Uber in Renee Paquette's podcast? He must have said call an Uber here. He said Uber like 50 times because he was just calling Ubers. Call an Uber here, call an Uber there. He was. And from what it sounds like, that's what we did. You go, you have a match. After the match, you get fucked up. Like, he said it himself. So those were his words, not mine. So yes, he was drinking, but at least he was drinking responsibly. He may have been doing the damage to himself, overdoing it, because that was the culture, as they explained in the podcast. Go watch it, Renee Paquette. It just came out. But Jeff Hardy was, even if you're hitting it hard and you're living hard and you're living fast and you're drinking, you got to be careful and you got to be safe for your safety and others. So Tony Khan also said that AEW is always willing to help talent who needs it, regardless of their place on the card. If a wrestler needs time off, they will get it. Khan said the company does not have policies. The company does have policies in place, including testing, and noted that the majority of the AEW roster drinks responsibly. You know what? Listen, I got a call.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
That's great. As they should, drink responsibly. That's great. That's what you're supposed to do. So the fact that And AEW has shown consistently that they will help you. They will give you time off. Hangman had a baby, gave him time off. Moxley, he said, "Yo, I just went to rehab, and then I called Tony. I think Renee called Tony and said, listen, he's in rehab. Gave him time off. Anybody who needs time off, he grants it. It's not like WWE where you ask for time off and Vince is like, yeah, I'll owe you one, pal. We need you. I'll owe you one." But AEW's roster is so deep that whenever you need time off and you ask for it, they will give it to you. And it's not like they shit on you and bring you back to the bottom of the card when you come back. They bring you back, and if they don't put you in the same spot, they work you into the plans. And I love that about AEW. I really do. Shout out to them for that. Because not every promotion does shit like that. The promotions be like, well, you know what? Oh, you need time off? Game over. As soon as you come back, you're jobbing everybody out. But shout out to them. Shout out to AEW for helping Jeff in his quest for sobriety. Listen, I'm pulling for Jeff Hardy. I hope Jeff Hardy does everything in his power to do what he has to do to get himself right. He has a wife, he has kids, he has a whole big old family. Get right. I hope he gets right for them. Not for anything else, not for wrestling. He's given so much to us, the fans, his body, his youth. He's given so much to us. Him, Matt, and all of these guys. I hope they get right for them so they could watch their children grow. Because that's what's most important. Family is everything. So, shout out to AEW for that.
You win.
Speaking of AEW, the Fight Forever video game is making progress. So Kenny Omega had an interview recently and he said, listen, there was at one point in time that he thought the game wasn't coming out. He did give a progress update and he said it's coming along nicely. He said there's plenty of work to do, but Yukis is working at a very strong pace. Omega could not confidently confirm it, but he hopes that the game will still meet the release date. This is a quote from what he said. It's really cool to see some of the stuff that we were worried might get left off the cutting room floor is now getting implemented. So it was a challenge to attempt to make a brand new wrestling game from the ground up during the COVID era. Was very challenging, and it got to the point where it seemed bleak, like maybe we would never release this thing, but we kind of got past that. We hopefully can be on schedule to make sure that we get this game out by this year, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Now, this is set to come out this year, end quote. This is set to come out this year, so I hope it does come out. I'm going to support it. I love AEW. I hope they make a fantastic game. It looks, from the gameplay, it looks real cartoony, which is fine. Nothing wrong with cartoony games. I hope it looks good. It's polished. I hope they have a good, create your wrestler mode. I hope they let you customize a lot. I hope they have a whole My Career mode. I hope it has everything that we want in a wrestling game. Work your way up through the ranks. Beat Kenny Omega for the championship, or Moxley, or Danielson, or whoever. I don't even know if he's in the game, but whatever. I hope everything goes as planned. I'm glad they're making progress. I'm glad they're doing everything they got to do. That's awesome, because it was well documented that they had a lot of bumps in the road. Kenny Omega was at odds with the game creators. They wanted certain things. They said, well, it's going to be hard to do. They left certain things off, blah, 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 blah. They went back and forth. But now it seems like everything is opening up, which I like. So, good. Let's make the game. Let them make the game. I'm going to support it. Definitely going to buy it. See what's up. Shout out to all of them for making it happen. And that's all I got for you today. And What the Wrestling News Brief. Me and Isaac will be going live later, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be awesome. We will be knocking it out the park. So, please be safe out there. Everybody enjoy the heat. It's here. I love summer. Let's keep it pushing. If you don't know, now you know. My socials are right here. And without further ado, I am out of here. So everybody, please enjoy the day. Be safe. I am out. Peace.
Dom DeMarco.